morning. I'm Barbara Majeski from Rahway, New Jersey. I'm here as a representative of the Coalition to Save Rahway Park. What has the citizens of Union County, and particularly the people of Rahway and Clark, ever done to the freeholders? We trusted you, we believed in you, had faith and hope in you, and most importantly, we trusted you to serve the people. Our biggest mistake, voting for you. We put you in office to listen and serve us, and that is not what's happening in this situation. We have 3,100 people who signed a petition. If they all showed up, would that get your attention instead of the few who come to represent them? We pay pretty high Union County taxes. I've been voting for 48 years. 47 of those years I've been voting in Rahway. Never getting involved or voicing my opinion except through my vote. Not anymore. This is the year I've had enough. I have decided to let Rahway destroy our park. I trusted you through my vote, but not anymore. The vote is the only way of hopefully changing the way freeholders handle our money. Do you have a certain amount of money that is spent on recreational improvement? That makes sense. Last year it was Jonathan Dayton's turn for a huge football track and ball field. The year before it was Lyndon's turn. Is it Rahway's turn now? The only difference between them is the fact that the two previous schools already had property to do these improvements. Rahway has a field they claim needs to be moved for 5 home games. They have been given permission to take our beautiful park away from us. Mark my word, the mayor has plans for Veterans Field. They do not care about flooding for 1 minute. The amphitheater is in the back of Veterans Field is one example. The tennis courts are on a flooded library field, and the building permit they gave to a contractor to build homes on River Road, where a Victorian home was torn down due to flood damage. Heaven help the new owner of the first one purchased. They obviously never checked the flood history, or they never would have bought a home on a slab. They most likely fell in love with the tranquility of the park across from their home. Just wait until the next storm. This is just a few of how the mayor deals with property and their greed for more tax revenue. We are tired of every improvement is for the arts. Well, guess what? The majority of people don't give a hoot about the arts. Every time someone stands up to protest, we are told it is for the kids. Fine, update the field for 5 home games, then replace the track in the park only. They have Madden Field that serves Pop Warner football. Upgrade that entire field. Most likely not even considered because of the chance of vandalism is greater next to the housing projects. Our mayor just wants to compete with the surrounding towns that have so-called state-of-the-art facilities. There are other parks to take advantage if I wish to walk or ride a bike. No Mohegan, not enough parking due to the college. Oak Ridge Park is beautiful, but it does not have many trees to shade you or benches to rest on. There are no ponds, no ducks, no swans, no cranes, all which are in my park. We have used it to bike ride since there are no cars to run you over in the park. People do not pay attention to the fact that they are to stay to the right and the left lane is for bikers as they speed past you. And this is without a football stadium in the park, which will be bringing more traffic and lack of respect for the people that always used our park. I called the Rahway police to see if I need a permit to carry a protest sign in front of the park. I was told that the park does not belong to Rahway. They have no jurisdiction. It belongs to Union County. Check with the freeholders. So long as I do not tie up traffic, they see no problem. Oh, I will be there Saturday and Sunday with my little sign, Save Our Park. So my question to the freeholders is, who is kidding who? Are the police in City Hall wrong when they tell me that Rahway has no authority over park business? Well, right does the mayor have to use county facility? The final decision truly rests with you people we elected and to whom we can remove on our next voting day. Do the right thing and listen to the people that put you in office and not the mayor of our town. There are other alternatives at field, but they have their excuses for not using them. Just once, please hear us. I will be here every meeting and will not give up this fight. Thank you.
Good evening again. I'm Jeff Freeman, Rahway, New Jersey. First of all, as a member of the Coalition to Save Rahway Park, I am deeply in sympathy with the sentiments and facts expressed by Barbara Majeski about the park. But I personally am not here tonight to tell you, the freeholders, not to build a stadium in Rahway River Park. We are not stupid, and we know you intend to build it no matter what the citizens want. You correct our misinformation by citing a mere 1,200 seats. No problem. If those are filled, it would be easy to add 4,000 more. I will not tell you, Chairman Jow, who unfortunately is not present tonight, that you will not find parking for your 300-person family picnic referred to in a previous session. We know that you are not stupid, and when you see, oops, surprise, the stadium visitors eat up the parking, Plan B, parking lot, comes into effect. We are not going to preach the Olmsted philosophy to you, because you yield only to force, not to the proven human needs articulated in that philosophy. There's no need to mention campaign funds from the contractors. That's just the way things are done. Likewise, how can we fault Mayor Steinman for bringing tax dollars, new apartment complexes to Rahway? That apartment dwellers will desperately need contact with open, unimpeded, green natural spaces is of no concern to him or to you. We understand the need for a better field for Rahway athletes. That is certainly among your conscious, stated motives. And you really believe that is your purpose. I have this peculiar notion that plans and projects should be judged by the results as much as by the intentions. When we consider the cavalier sweeping aside of alternatives to a stadium in the park, the results of your project rise to prominence. And we cannot help thinking that the result, the desecration of the experience of nature that was intended in the Olmsted Plan, is more in accord with your unconscious motives. As for your doublespeak, refuting our points by feeding us tidbits from your plan while swearing there is no plan, claiming that an athletic field with banks of tiered seats, the dictionary definition of a stadium, is not a stadium. As these statements of yours are totally illogical and self-contradictory, we must conclude that the function of your doublespeak is to sow anxiety and confusion among us, your intended victims. As you believe your own claptrap, I speak in the hope that the good, decent people of the county you claim to represent will see the light.
Thank you for your comments.
Hello, Jennifer Sola, Raleigh resident. Never done this before, so bear with me. I'm here for the Rahway Youth Soccer Association. And as you can see, I have all of the children, the parents, the coaches, the rec program, the travel program, the referees, and our parents who are supporting the children for what is the other part of the project, which is to redo Greenfield with turf fields for our soccer program, along with, I believe, rugby and so forth. And what we want to emphasize is that it is for the children, and we do need to look at that, and we are so happy that this is hopefully going to go forward. We have a huge program. We're a small town. We're up to 420 children playing soccer. When we travel the state of New Jersey, we're one of the only communities that does not have a turf field, and our children deserve that. So I hear the points about the Rahway Park, and I understand their points, but we do have to think about the children and our athletes in the town of Rahway. So we are here today, well represented, and we thank you.
Alan, thank you for your feelings. AJ, thank you for your feelings. Bella, thank you for your feelings. Gabby, thank you for your feelings. Thank you for Anthony, thank you for your feelings.
My name is Lynn. I'm from Rahway also, and I grew up in Rahway, born and raised. My kids now live in Rahway. They play soccer for Rahway. I've coached a travel team for years for my older son. Now I coach a U10 boys travel team, well, girls too, sorry. And everywhere we go, they have beautiful fields. Every town we go to, they have nice fields, turf fields, regular fields. We have these fields in Greenfield where we play. They have like dirt patches. They're very bumpy. It's not a nice place to play. And we just want to say thank you for building the fields for us. And it's about time that Rahway gets something too, to compare to the other towns too. Thank you.
I'm here tonight as a member of the Coalition to Save Rahway River Park, and I'm glad to see all of Rahway's soccer teams out here tonight representing their interests. But I was a coach in the Rahway Soccer Association for about 15 years. I was a soccer coach also at Cranford High School, or the Cranford school system, for 6 more years. So I know what kids benefit with when they play sports, especially soccer, the best game in the world. And I hope they get a good field to play on, but I've also been a research chemist for about 25 years. And I know that the toxicity issues with artificial turf are real. Without going into recondite detail, there's lots of toxic material in those fields. The crumb rubber is dangerous. And one of the reasons why those fields are so popular is because they've been pushed by the tire industry where the crumb rubber comes from. And it is full of carcinogenic material. So people should be careful when they choose to go for artificial turf fields. The city of New York has had lots of problems with the turf fields. They replaced all of their municipal fields with artificial turf. And now they have refused to place any more fields with the crumb rubber. They're using what's called cork infill. So don't take my word for it, please. There's a lot of research out there. You should research this carefully. Particularly goalkeepers have a hard time with this stuff because they're diving into the ground all the time and they literally eat the crumb rubber. So it's not something that you want to rush into, but I hope you get a good feel. We were again speaking as a member of the Coalition Save Rahway River Park. We were at the Rahway council meeting a few days ago, and we spoke with the Rahway business administrator. And again, we are told that there are no plans, or there are no specific plans. She doesn't know what's going on, except that there's a plan to have a public meeting sometime in June. So apparently there is a plan, but the plan is going forward without public participation, at least not the common citizen public participation. We would like to know who you guys represent. You're elected by some of the people in Union County to represent all the people in Union County. And we feel we are not being represented. Nobody has contacted anybody in our organization to say, what are your actual concerns? What can we do about this? Or these are the plans we have. You have no reason to worry. We don't hear anything about this. We are in the dark. And apparently you plan to keep it that way until this mysterious June meeting comes when the non-plan will be revealed as a plan. So I would like you to address this and serve the people who are paying for this park and this athletic complex, as it's called. This athletic complex, if it goes through, is going to change the nature of Rahway River Park. And with the things that's happening to our environment, we need to preserve gems like Rahway River Park. And this proposed athletic complex is going to destroy the park. Now, in no way do I want to see kids deprived of athletic opportunities. And I think my history shows that. But I'm also worried about this. So please, listen to what your respondents out here are saying. Thank you.
Before the next speaker, I just want to respond a little bit. We have said from this dais, and I have said on a number of occasions, there is no plan yet, and that is the truth. As for a meeting in June, As far as I know, and if there were one, I presume I would know, there is no meeting scheduled at this time in June. But, as we have promised, and I will promise you again tonight, when we have a formal plan on paper, there will be a public presentation to allow the public time to look at it and time to comment. And in fact, we hear your comments here week after week. We're not ignoring them, and we hear them, and we certainly understand your concerns, and nobody's ignoring them. But as we said, some of them we believe are based on misinformation, which, when there is in fact a plan presented, then we'll have something concrete to look at, and we certainly will listen to further comments from the public, excuse me, before we move ahead. So I don't know what the meeting in June is. Maybe there will be a meeting in June, but as far as I know, there's nothing scheduled now. There has been no final or preliminary plan put on paper. It will be, and we will give the public an ample opportunity to look at it and comment on it when the time comes. I've said that week after week, and I will continue to say it, and I stand by it, and it will happen that way. So thank you for your comments. Who's next?
Good evening. James Wysocki, Rahway. I would like to thank you guys for the fields. The kids deserve them, and we do appreciate it. My wife, Raquel.
Also, we do appreciate it. Fields we play on are they're just terrible. And there's lots of injuries sustained to playing on those fields, and we really would like to give our kids the best, and the new fields would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comment. Anyone else on any topic of government? Step up.
My name is Manuel Cunha from Rahway. I live about 2 blocks away from Rahway Park. And they're talking about that this will destroy Rahway Park. I think it would help. I would like all of you to try jogging around that park. Nothing but geese poop everywhere. And these kids play on geese poop. And you're talking about eating rubber, that the goalie has to dive and eat rubber. Which is healthier, eating geese poop? Because that's what they're diving into right now. I mean, our practice, when we practice, it's disgusting. You got poop all over their knees. The goalie has to go down, and there's nothing but poop everywhere because the geese just surround the whole place. And AstroTurf, I hear that keeps them away from it, or at least doesn't let them go there. That's what I hear. That's all I have to say.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Walton Carter from Rahway, representing Rahway Youth Soccer. Everybody knows me as Coach Neil. First of all, I must say, I've been coaching for 6 years, and the fields are ridiculous. The kids are getting twisted ankles. It's not safe for them. And you drive through other towns, you're seeing actually proper fields. The kids are having a wonderful time staying out for late hours, running around on their AstroTurf. And like you said, the environment, okay, I understand that. But who's taking care of the medical bills when the kids are being hurt? I mean, there's a lot of things to take into consideration here. But Rahway do have a lot of talent. But unfortunately, when they go out to play other teams who have these fantastic turf, they're getting put down to shame because of what little facilities we have. We need to actually do something for the city of Rahway. And if you guys do that, and I mean, trust me, there is a lot of talent out there. I've been coaching them for 6 years. And they just need the proper fields, proper facilities to actually shine. And we just hope that you can actually give them that chance to do that. That's it.
How you doing? My name is Stan Majeski from Lowell, New Jersey. I just want to make a comment about the soccer field. We have no objection to soccer fields at all. In Greenfield, there's no objections there. We object to the stadium going on in Lowell Park. That's our objection. There's no other thing about soccer field. Hey, we love the kids to play over there. We realize that maybe the fields ain't as great as they are, but you can make improvements. That's fun. Our objection is to a football stadium in Lowell Park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sienna. I am 8 years old. I want to begin by saying thank you to the freeholders for supporting Rahway on this matter. I feel that Rahway parks and sports are important to not just to me, but to most Rahway youth because I feel that it has helped me build and mold my character, my confidence, and self-esteem. For as long as I can remember, my mom and dad have been taking me and my brother to the park to spend time and enjoy each other. Being able to play sports for Rahway also has made my family unite as they come together to watch me play in the game. Better parks will promote family bonding of all ages. Thank you.
John Burry of Kenilworth. And I guess they're talking about the same thing. I guess there are people who don't want a Rahway stadium in the park, and I assume these people, the soccer players, are for it, or that's the same piece of land they're talking about. And it just seems pretty bizarre. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it. But when these people who don't want the stadium come up and say, you tell them there's no plan, not even a preliminary plan. And when these other people who come up and say thank you for the stadium, they don't get the, we don't have a plan. I mean, it's presuming that you do have a plan to these people, but you have no plan to these people. It just seems odd. And I was at the Rahway council meeting on Monday, and it seemed pretty clear that they set up meeting. Maybe they didn't invite you, or maybe there were other people who are the decision makers, but it's definitely said there was something on Monday. And basically about how these things get done in Rahway. I was in Rahway, and the Freeholder Board has pumped like millions of dollars, I mean $5-6 million into the Union County Performing Arts Center. And there are a lot of empty storefronts out there. I mean, if you go through that, it's not really booming. I mean, what you call booming. Maybe I was going in at all time, but I don't think there is a good time for that. Even maybe the one time when they have Joy Behar or someone there. But and they also poured in like hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix the organ. I mean, it was an incredible amount of money. And you're talking to a fairly major film buff. I mean, I would have loved to see Zorro there, but who else would have? I mean, you're talking about, I think it's a completely misguided effort. And it's not like I'm against the arts or the people in Rahway are against the arts. They're just pumping all this money to a lot of people. And incidentally, Samson Steinman-Kerr, Mayor Rahway, he was the director of the Union County Arts Center until, according to the 990 forms, in 2012, 2011, before he got mayor, and he was making $82,000 a year from there. And now, actually he's getting close to that now with his new raise that he got this week. But I thought that project to build up Rahway Arts District was misguided. And I'm guessing James Kennedy was the guy behind it. I mean, former mayor, he's also on the Union County Utilities Authority Board now. And among other things, he approved the hiring of a former freeholder there, Daniel Sullivan. So it's kind of, incestuous in a way. I mean, he wanted all this money, and then he hires a freeholder, or he approves the hiring of a freeholder there. And the last thing is, I welcome all this. It's nice to have a lot of people out here, and I think you should pay attention instead of patronizing them. That is what I see. I thought there were plans. I've seen Neglia Engineering made plans in June of last year. And actually somebody had to pay. I know you can't answer questions there. I would love to know who paid for those plans that are physically out there and being, that they're paying out. Was it the Union County Improvement Authority? Was it some county thing somewhere in the budget? I mean, I'll try to find out, but it would help me a little if somebody would mention where, if anybody paid for plans for back in 2014.
Good evening. Dean Mark Antonio from Raleigh. I know we heard a lot tonight about the facilities being built or maybe being built at Raleigh Park. I just want to shed a little bit more light on my, thoughts on this. I'm in complete support of it. I'm a Raleigh resident my whole life. I played soccer growing up my whole life in Raleigh. Raleigh youth soccer was established in 1970. I don't want to give away my age, but I've been playing soccer in Raleigh since about 1976. Kids deserve better. They deserve what all the other kids get. They deserve good fields. And I'm going to tell you this. If you go to Raleigh Park on any given day right now in the spring and look around that park, it's loaded with cars and kids playing softball right now. So for when there's 5 games a year being played for a football stadium, it's not going to have any impact on what's already being done there. When we talk about nature and environment, I want to just bring to light what is going on in Raleigh Park right now. There is a huge swimming facility. There's tennis courts. There's basketball courts. There's a soccer field and a track. There are about 6 to 8 softball fields. There is a county DPW building and outhouse there with trucks and garbage trucks. You name it. So, this field, this park was built around sports. And that's what it should continue to do. Now, the nature part of that park, I've lived here my whole life. To the left side of that park is the nature trails and the pond. And that's not being disturbed in all this. I think what you have here is a little bit of a divide, but I don't think there's any real divide. You have your nature, which isn't going to be disturbed. And on the other side, it's a complete sports complex. And let's keep it the way it is and make a nice field for the kids and let them have fun and continue on, right?
Awesome.
And by the way, I live right near the current football field in Raleigh, and it has no impact on parking near my house. So I don't know what the big concern is about parking and facilities and things. It's not going to make a major impact on Raleigh football and parking around the area of Raleigh Park. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Acting Chairman Bergen, ladies and gentlemen, the freeholder board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. I mean, I brought the budget up, but I'll tell you right now, from the budget hearing and from my other times I spoke about the budget, I'm not going to go through this. I think you got the idea that yes, there's millions that are being disappeared. You buried a lot of money in the budget. I went department by department, increases 16%, 20%, 50%, 60%. A lot of money disappeared. Raising taxes, there was a gentleman here before saying, why the budget go down, yet the taxes go up. We listened to Vicki Taylor. But, let's face it, you buried a lot of money in here. You sold Runnels, the operating dollars from Runnels now is gone, so you don't have to spend that. And it's in here. Everything is in here in huge increases. Now, I'm not gonna accuse you of just pissing the money away, although you do that frequently. But I can see by looking at the running fund balance from the year before, it looks like you just are building up the surplus, yet you're not admitting it. I mean, I see the surplus stays the same from last year, $20 million. Yet the other year had a running surplus of an additional $11 million, which you buried into the budget. Obviously, you're not spending it. I can see that, okay? So that's why I'm not saying you're just frivolously spending the money. So you're building up this surplus. Why? It's the taxpayers' money. It's our money. It's not your money. We had Mr. El Bay up here talking about the Constitution of the state of New Jersey. You talked about the laws of New Jersey. Well, guess what? We are New Jersey, not you. You are rather imperial. You act imperial. When I was trying to get a legal opinion from Counsel Barry, sitting right next to you, you said,
your opinion is better than mine, which is amazing because we're part of the public, you and I, and yet yours is better than mine. You are wrong. You know, somebody just said that, you know, that there are no plans, but there are plans. I mean, how many times have we proved that you guys lied? So, I mean, in essence, I'm going to bring up the question again. I'm going to bring up two questions again, which hopefully Council Barry will answer, because I've asked this before. Mirabella, Freeholder Mirabella is now the business administrator of Scotch Plains. Scotch Plains will be receiving money from the county, yet he's going to be voting on the budget. So my question is, can he vote on the budget or not? So I'd like to hear Council Barry answer it through you, maybe when I'm done speaking. The other question is why couldn't I speak on number 414 when it was about the county budget and the public hearing? Again, he's paid $164,000 for something. Here is a perfect time to render legal opinions. We are paying him to render legal opinions, unless he doesn't have a JD after his name or whatever the letters are, and he's just up there just to get a good friend, lesbian, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, but let me just push forth, and yes, the issue of the Rahway Park has been, you know, the gentleman, people have been coming here, many meetings. Now we're seeing the pros coming here, obviously fighting the cons. But, you know, it boils down to, this is county land. I mean, yes, I understand Rahway needs a park, needs some kind of sports park, and you have $3 million. Give it to Rahway. Let Rahway figure out their business. It appears Rahway is confiscating the county property. That's what it sounds like. And this is why you're getting pushed back from people. That you have something like 2,000 names, 3,000 names on a petition. I mean, yes, soccer. It's great. You know, I'm not here against it or for it, but I'm just saying, do something about it. Give Rahway the $3 million. The problem that these people that are against it are hitting their heads against the wall is the business administrator of Rahway is Cheryl Roundtree, and again, well connected to the county. She was a county worker for I don't know how many years. So they're not going to get any nice stuff out of her. She's connected to you guys. And that's what I'm saying. Imperialistic. Everybody is imperialistic up here, and you don't care about us.
Thank you. Members of the public who wish to speak. Please put the mic down so we can thank you.
Hi, I'm Dominic, and I would like to say that I appreciate a new field because every time I'm tired, I'm getting dust in my eye because there's dirt everywhere when I'm sliding to block a goal, and it hurts my eyes, and my dad always has to get it out. So I appreciate the new field.
And I have to say, you know, an individual comes to many of our meetings, and yeah, kind of an attention seeker. But he's, you know, talking about, you know, the board acting imperial. And I want to say, in regards to the park, you know, we appreciate those who come out and those who may not be supportive of the project, as well as those who are supportive of the proposed project. And we look forward to seeing those drawings and to having a public discussion regarding that field. I personally am supportive of the concept. I think it's going to be a great thing for that park. It's going to be a great thing for the kids and for the park as a whole. But we're going to have an opportunity to see what those plans look like. They're not done yet, but we have them. There will be a public hearing so folks can learn about it. And, you know, I'm not sure we're going to change everyone's mind once that happens, but I think everyone has a better idea of what the long-term plan for that particular park is. But when we talk about acting imperial, we do hear concerns, and I have learned a bit from those individuals who are against that particular project, and people who come up from various issues. But we don't act imperial. We represent those who placed us on this dais to represent the best interests of Union County. We continue to do so, and there's nothing imperial about it. We stand for election, and we will vote as we see fit. and vote our conscience on the issues that matter to these county residents. And if others don't like it, they can feel free to pick up a petition and run for office. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.